Talking out to you. So today I feel really inspired to talk about a bit of a deep topic, and it has to do with end of life and what it means to really walk someone home. A lot of individuals around my age in my community are starting to be assigned the great task of looking after their aging parents. And it is a very potent chapter of our lives where we are seriously called into a different dimension of our being that I believe actually remains completely dormant until we experience the raw, vulnerable horrors and beauties of, walking someone home. And so I wanted to pop in here just to give a few tips as I've been through this, and I've also I'm still in it actually, and I also want to mention that this video is not just for aging parent as a scenario, but rather like if anybody who's dying and facing end of life, because I believe it's one of the greatest honors, actually, spiritually, to be called to someone's side while they unravel this magnificent story that we're in. And what it can do, though, is bring up a lot of challenge, a lot of frustration, a lot of fears. There's an exhaustion at hand. You can literally lose your own life in whatever you are doing for a period of time. And so it is an invitation to develop a different tool set, to become really selfless and to be in the posture of service is really not for the faint-hearted. And particularly if you're very deeply connected with the person and maybe you've got a history together and especially if it's a parent, there can be some triggers there. There can be some like resentments there. There can be all sorts of things can really suddenly start to arise as you try to be the person to walk them home. And I want to invite anyone who's in this place to consider a handful of mindful life hacks, if you will. The first one that comes to mind is don't take stuff personally. If there's dementia in the room, or if there is, even just a bit of forgetfulness, or sometimes even cancer can create anger and frustration in the person, rightly so. And so they can fire at you, even though that they love you, even though they're so grateful, their souls are so grateful. But sometimes the human will wobble and fire straight at you, and this can feel like the very righteous reason to shut down and to create space and distance and all of that. And I think that the only reason why we really react is that when we're taking it super personally, right? And so firstly, try to not take things personally. They're deeply in the trenches of potentially their own suffering or unraveling, probably facing what death means to them. And yeah, it's exhausting, being sick, dying. It's there can be a lot of fear in the room. And so second thing, of course, then is self-care, like making sure that you take time to actually fill up your cup. Like you have to go into nature, you have to go and connect and do the things that remind you of who you really are. This is one of the key things that can be really forgotten, because we need to take the time to, like, sometimes you feel really selfish or you feel a bit guilty for stepping away and having a good time for a minute, but under the hood of the person that you're looking after, they want you to thrive. They really do. It's horrifying for all of us to imagine that our end of life would be so costly on the ones who love us, the ones who are around us, to walk us home. So, to take the time and to try and really flip the switch and change gears and fill up your cup. That's a thing to really consider. Another thing is just really tuning in with the honor in it, I think anyone who's been present for the birth of a baby knows the reverence and the glory and the beauty of bringing in new life. Well, when someone's stepping out, like it really is the ultimate moment, isn't it? And to get out of the way is a skill. To be selfless in this moment and to be inexhaustible in this moment and to assist them to unravel with as much dignity as possible it's an amazing skill to cultivate. And so that's where journaling can come in, like to really look at how this is going to initiate you actually into becoming a greater human. Like you're going to become so much greater because you're going to witness something so true and so real, so taboo in the Western culture too, that this is going to like give you such an incredible gift. You're never going to be the same after this event takes place. And so, to journal about the honor of being the one to step into this zone with whoever your person is it can be really beneficial so that you can keep a really clear filter on what's actually happening, as opposed to what you're missing out or what you're sort of neglecting in order to play this role. The other thing that is really, and this one's big, I feel, is that regardless of who this person is and what they've done, or like maybe the judgments that you might have around their life, I think one of the most beautiful things that we can do is to let them know that they did a good job, that their unique, amazing life was really well lived by them, and that they did the best they could with the tools that they had, that they were a wonderful friend or a parent, mother, lover, brother, whatever, to assist them to actually unhook any regrets, fears, doubts, lack, loss, worry, so that as they step into the light, they're as light as they can be. And this is, again, it's such a selfless posture to take, but I imagine that for me, stepping into the light, if I'm on my deathbed, it would be super beneficial to know that things are good, that I lived a good life, and to feel the compliments pouring in. As a NOWism, coach or teacher, what I've learned from working with countless people is that everybody really wants to just be seen, heard, loved, validated. Like our human needs are pretty simple on some level, and so to give that freely is a beautiful, beautiful, holy gift that you can give someone. The other thing, I guess, is to meet people where they are. Like I know that when my mom was experiencing extreme pain and like exhaustion from the process, was to just meet her there and not really try and fix it. I think it's a bit audacious for us to, try and constantly fix the feeling when really they just want to know that I can imagine that this is a really shit experience and I'm really sorry, and just meet them right where they are. Wow, you're dealing with this really well. You're doing this amazingly, actually. There's such a balance between inspiring someone and offering solutionary states of mind, and then actually just being present with where they're at and being okay with that. I know that I really learned that through the initiation with my mom, because I'm a full-time inspirer. That's what I do. I look for solutions. I look for ways to reframe. I look for ways to alkalize and alchemize the problems or the challenges or the resistances, so that we can extract an evolutionary gift, so that we can do something wonderful with a shit feeling, I had to learn how to just shut up and be present with discomfort and know that it is what it is. Overall, I want to I encourage you, if you are experiencing this and if you know someone who is going through this, then please share this video. But I want to just acknowledge you. I see you, and I give thanks for your yes energy as you walk your person home. I remember walking around in my breaks with Mum. I remember walking around shopping centres and I'd see people pushing individuals in wheelchairs and the carers of the world, and suddenly I would just connect with these people. I'd see them really, I gotta say, like probably really for the first time, really could see them. I could see their sacrifice. I could see the inexhaustible love that they were bringing to this other individual, and how stunning that was. What a incredible demonstration of our human potential to love and to love and to love and to love and to just love anyway. And so if that's you right now, bravo. Pause for the applause. It doesn't go unnoticed. There's a lot of amazing humans in this life that actually live in this space. You know, I was so in awe of nurses and individuals, carers in all of the different situations that I found myself in with my mom and with friends prior to my mom dying. You know, Mickey. I am in awe of the angelic nature that is loaded and coded inside of us, and some people really live from that space 24/7. And so lastly, and I did already say this, but I want to really highlight that this is actually a really important part of your growth. It's an important part of, you know, you understanding your humanity, the raw beauty and brutality of living a human life, and that you are going to up level from this situation, especially if you can wrap your consciousness around some of the things that I've been suggesting in this video, and just really like go for gold here, like really go for it. Go for being an absolutely inexhaustible presence of love, because at the end of the day, when they pass over to the light, you have to live with how you turned up. And as you live with how you turned up, you're going to see that being the lover and the distribution center of inspiration is actually just a good idea. Like that should be our full-time gig, actually. To be a presence of love, to be a presence of hope, to be an inexhaustible presence of the sweetness of our own hearts and souls. You know, I'm forever changed from my experience with Mom, and I wouldn't change a minute of it, actually. Spiritually, I wouldn't change a second of it. The human in me, the daughter in me, it's hard. It's hard to watch people fade away. When you have a spiritual practice, when you have a NOWism practice, I call it NOWism, call it whatever you want, like, when you have that practice and you have workshopped the toolbox and you establish yourself with the anchor to the divine, then you can be present through these horrific moments. And some part of you will still be smiling. Big loves, richest nows. If you got some value from this, please share it. We all go through this at some point. Big loves.